Hi, I'm Paul Sanders, speaking to you from the Fujifilm House of Photography in central London. It's a shame that we can't be at the photography show in person, but due to current circumstances, we've gone virtual. So this is my presentation about my mindful approach to photography and how I use connection with the subject and the maker of the subject to enhance my own experience of photography. Mindfulness in photography is very important to me. The key attributes of mindfulness are beginner's mind. That's basically accepting the world as it is, looking at it with wonder and awe, a little bit like being a child again. Non-judging. Don't look at something and say, this is good, this is bad. That negative energy instantly closes off creativity. Accept what is. Most subjects, locations that we will go to, give us their best on a given day. Work with their best. Give them your best. Let go of the end goal. Trust in yourself and in the subject, and be patient. Allow yourself time to sit with the subject in a location and work together. And then don't over try. Don't set yourself ridiculous challenges within the time that you're out photographing. Don't say, I'm going out to take a great picture, because as soon as you do this, you're trying too hard and your vision goes and you start judging everything, and then you can go all the way through that list again. There are also two very recent but very relevant additions. One is gratitude, which is just saying thank you. Doesn't matter whether you're photographing a person or a tree or a river or the seaside. Always say thank you as you leave. And generosity. Always share what you know. Somebody at some point has shared information with you that has given you a step up on the ladder and helped you improve and learn. Always be happy to give a little back to people who are just starting out on their journey or asking for advice. Photography is a very competitive world and we all take it far too seriously. So I practice all of these attributes of mindfulness to help me lead a calmer and more appreciative life. Paying attention in a particular way on purpose, in the present moment and without judgment, is the sort of mantra that goes along with mindfulness. And really, as photographers, this is what we do. We pay attention in a particular way on purpose, often in the present moment, but not always. And without judgment, that's a little bit of a weaker one for us. In the present moment means what is happening now. Not what's the next location got to offer, not did I get a great picture at the last location, or even what time's tea. Without judgment, you don't turn up at somewhere and say, this is rubbish, the light isn't good enough, this isn't good enough, my subject's not doing, I haven't got the right lens. Allow yourself to step back and accept what is and work with it. By working with rather than against, you give rise to much deeper connections with your subjects and a lot more satisfaction and enjoyment. And this is what I observe as a photographer, is the enjoyment you get out of the connection with your subject. This is where you can get lost for hours in a single moment. Photography is full of ego, and none of us are free of it. We all have gear, some gear we don't use, some we don't know how to use. We all love social media likes and external validation of our work through perhaps competitions. We all like praise, and it's easy to get addicted to the success, especially by constantly comparing and judging yourself with others. Don't judge or compare yourself. Try not to compete against people. Allow your photography to just be for you. You're the only person in the world who sees like you do. Embrace how you see. Somebody else somewhere will appreciate how you see the world, but if they don't, it doesn't actually matter. I'm always asked what's in my bag, and as a professional photographer, people expect me to have tons of kit. To be honest, I'm always stripping back. So in my bag, I have a Fujifilm GFX 50S, 4 prime lenses. The reason I use primes and enjoy primes is because they make me move my feet rather than the zoom ring. Yes, I carry perhaps one more lens than I need to, but I enjoy working with one particular lens and starting to see and experience that focal length. I have some extension tubes because often when I'm struggling for a bigger view, there's a really wonderful intimate landscape, but I don't really want the weight of a macro lens in my bag plus those other 4 lenses. I use filters a lot. I'm a great believer in trying to create the look that I want in camera. So I use my leaf filters almost on every photograph that I take. I put those in my bag along with my cameras and lenses, always in the same order, so that I know my wider lens is at the left hand side, my longest lens is at the right hand side, my darkest filter is at the back, and they come forward in their increments, and the same with my graduated filters. I don't put the tripod on the bag, I always carry it in my hand, along with my umbrella. My blunt umbrella is indestructible and has been a faithful companion for 4 years now. I absolutely love it. And that all goes inside a Millikan 32 litre backpack. The reason I choose Millikan is because their equipment is all made from recycled materials and is sustainable. They don't pay me to say that, by the way. I actually bought the bag, but I absolutely love it. And as you've probably guessed, orange is my favourite colour. So let's get into the actual connection of an object or a subject. The Japanese word Katachi loosely translated means the direct connection between the beauty of the creator's soul and the objects of their craft. And I really love this word because this kind of word makes our modern Western life a little bit more enriching, because we as photographers often think about our photograph. We rarely think about the person that's put the effort in to give us a subject. So if you think about it, we as photographers are artisan makers of images. So our soul is in the photographs that we take. Minor White said every photograph is a self-portrait. So we're photographing something that we see that resonates with ourselves, but we're also photographing the image of the people or things that have given birth to the objects that we do photograph. And that sounds quite complicated, but if you break it down a little bit, everything that we look at is created by someone or something. Hands, ideas, passion, they've all been part of the shaping of beautiful architecture like this. The simplicity of line, the elegance, the practicality to allow light or access. People have drawn, shaped, designed, modelled and built much of what is around us, and nature has given rise to pretty much everything else. Even in the modern world, somebody somewhere designed things out of a practical need, and these are their objects of creation, and if you look at them, they're not necessarily to be cloned out of a picture, but to be embraced in their own right. All photography to me is gratitude. It's a show of appreciation to the person who developed the subject of our attention. We're photographing them and us at the same time. Things resonate with us because we might have some kind of deeper connection. And that's quite hard to fathom. But by approaching things with an open heart, open mind and wide open eyes, we can look at the world with awe and wonder and see the beauty in the everyday, making the ordinary extraordinary. And that's what our role as photographers is. Often we wish for the grass to be, we say the grass is a bit greener. We want to alter. We often say, wouldn't it be better if this was here or that was there? But things that have been placed by people have an energy and attention all of their own. So don't judge or try to improve. Just accept what is and spend a little bit longer looking at it and trying to see what you can find within the objects as they are. Allow that rhythm to come through. I always try to imagine the person or persons who left the items where they are. I wonder what they were doing before they left them. I wonder about the people that made them. The tension that's created by those people because of the differences in the spacing of things and the way they casually leave things around. It always strikes me that as soon as I get involved with something and start repositioning things, that all of a sudden the energy is lost and they become a still life, not a still life with tension and imperfection. And I like the imperfections that happen in life. So why did the people place these items here? Why did they leave them? And who am I to move them? Who am I to interfere with their energy? I really like this photograph. It's been described as neither good nor interesting. And to most people that's probably true. But I spent a very happy morning photographing fishing, the boats tied to fishing ropes that were just floating in a harbour, just looking at the simple patterns against the clear sea. And I found great enjoyment out of it. And when it was described as neither good nor interesting, I started to think, well, the person who made the rope, that rope is probably the best he could produce on the day. So to him it's beautiful, or to her even. To the fisherman that uses the rope to tie his boat to the harbour wall, it's essential. To the fish that feed off the little bits of plankton and things that gather on the rope, it's a life source. So neither good nor interesting. No, you're right. It's a life-giving, essential piece of creation, and it's beautiful. Whether by hand or by machine, everything is crafted. Everything has a rhythm and needs space to just be, for us to explore it in our own way, for us to find something that resonates within it, to simplify it, to be challenged by it, to ask questions of it and be asked questions from it. All this happens before we start to commit to receiving something from the subject that we really want to photograph. And sometimes we don't get presented with a photograph. Sometimes it's okay to say, there is nothing to photograph here today, but don't write it off as a bad thing. Allow the experience of the enjoyment of spending time with something to be the takeaway. It doesn't always have to end in a photograph. Everything is beautiful. Everything has a unique beauty and an intrigue. Everything offers conflict and peace, space and movement. Often we'll look at things but we don't see. We listen but we don't hear. Everything comes from somewhere. Remember, seeing is different to looking. It's okay to look at something, but seeing something in an object or a subject that catches your attention is special. Don't ever discount something as not worthy of your attention. Look and see. Look again. Listen, and listen to the internal voice that tells you all about your own insecurities and fears. And then use the energy that comes from that to create something that's a bit special. That, by embracing that feeling, those feelings, those energies within inside you, that's what resonates and vibrates off the subject to present an image to you. Look at what the subject is showing you, and don't hide from the pain or suffering you feel. You don't have to share your pictures. You can keep them private if they resonate too deeply with you. And that for me is really important. Photography is all about me and the subject and the person who made the subject. It's not about me and a wider audience. Feel into yourself and into your heart so that you have empathy for the subject. And if you can feel into your heart, you can feel into its heart. So you can feel the love of creation. Take a moment to just observe the joy. Can you hear it sing? Or are you purely about yourself? Your ego, your success, your likes, your desire, your image. Remember, you may press the button on the camera, but each image is a collaboration that is shared between you and the maker of the object. I like the harmony in objects. I do simplify. I get rid of a lot of things in my pictures by moving and adjusting my position until I find that the subject harmonises with me and we're both at peace. We're both still and quiet with what we've offered each other. And I like to think that once I've received something, I spend a bit of time just refining what catches my eye and working towards the sort of composition that allows both me and the subject to speak in a voice that we understand. Accept all of it, in all of its imperfections. If you can accept that in nature, you can accept it in yourself, and so arrive at happiness and perhaps contentment, at least some of the time anyway. Each moment of stillness and harmony brings you closer to yourself and a deeper understanding of you and also of nature, slowing you down, switching off to the noise and demands of modern life, while allowing yourself time to express and grow and learn and be. In the urban environment, you can find harmony and peace, rhythm and evidence of the hand of others, even in the seemingly empty streets. The pace of life may look still, but the hum of life is still there. Who left the bike? Is the engine still warm? Or are they just about to come out after having a lunch into that damp, cold afternoon? The pause that you've given yourself is shown in the image, and that's reflected back at you by the subject and all of the detail in your frame. Slow the pace of your life to match the pace of your seeing. Sometimes, yes, it happens quicker than others, but often it takes a little while to unwind, to allow yourself to unravel a little bit. But patience is the key. Allow yourself to wait, to look, and to see, and then to wait some more. We're small on earth and yet have a huge impact, not always negatively. And I love the hugeness of the world, the connection with humanity, and my connection with my faith as a Christian. When I'm out photographing, for me it's a time of meditation, a time of prayer, and it brings me closer to God. For me, the landscape is created by God and shaped by man. Each has a part to play in the images I see and receive and share. I believe in a creator God and a loving God, and therefore I enjoy every second I spend in the landscape in total harmony with my faith, with every shaft of sunlight that I appreciate, every drop of dew, every small bit of rain that clings to a flower, every breath of wind that shapes the grass so much better than I could ever imagine. And a moment of peace, just watching and enjoying the rhythm and simplicity of life, the complexity and tension of every scene that we stand before, and the silence. Just the silence. And then I laugh as the wind whips my breath away and allows me to feel fresh and alive. Every cold morning biting on my face and on my fingertips as I stand there watching the light change and the mists come and go. Photography for me is about being gentle. It's about being kind to myself, allowing myself time away from the hustle and bustle of the world, time locked into a world where it is me and the creation and the hands of those who created what I'm attracted to. Stay away from judgment, from what is good and what is bad. Just let it be and enjoy it. Just for yourself, for all that you are and for everything you're not. And remember, the page is never blank. There is always something to see if you open your mind and open your heart. Connect your feeling and appreciation to whatever is in front of you. Let it teach and guide you to a moment of clarity and unique joy that is just for you. So thank you very much for your time and for being here. Hopefully next year we'll be able to be with you in person and enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you very much.